everyone, today I will be filming my review for episode 1 and 2 of Cheese in the Trap for you guys. So I just finished Love Cuisine, and I'm currently watching Remember, and I know I'm not doing every single episode review for you guys. I get really busy, so it's hard for me to try to do all that, but I thought I'd review the first 2 episodes of Cheese in the Trap for you guys, so that way, I have 2 different shows to watch now, and I like keeping it that way. That way, I just don't have to wait for one show and then I can watch the other one. So, I'm going to combine the episodes together, so let's get on with the first one. So the first one, the main girl name is Hong So, and then the main guy is Yoo Jung. So basically Hong So feels that, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the names, but she feels that Yoo Jung is just problems, that he's going to cause problems for her, and, ever since they meet, he just causes problems for her at school, and she feels like he's stalking and bullying her. So she decides that she's going to take some time off of school. And she misses, I don't know how long it was, I think a year. But then she does decide to go back to school. But then when she goes back, of course, Jung is there. So then that whole thing got reconnected. So the next big thing that happens is somebody steals, they steal her password because Hong So was on the computer in the library. And then Jung was in there trying to talk to her because, he's trying to be friendly to her and talk to her. You can tell that, he likes her, but she feels like he's just stalking her and, just doesn't like her. And so he ends up looking at the computer screen, and then, he walks away. But somebody else changes her class, and she was so excited to have that class, but then somebody takes it away from her, basically, because they drop that class so they can get in it. But apparently at the end, they didn't get in it anyway. But so she feels that Jung was the one that did it, since he was the one that was in there in the computer lab, and she realized she did not drop her class. So, she's thinking he's this evil person and everything, but he actually does help her find out who was the one that dropped her class. So that was really sweet, and, it's basically, you can definitely tell why it's called Cheese in the Trap, because it's definitely, she's trapped, and, trapped in with him, and it's just, it's so crazy. But the first episode's such an amazing, it just keeps leaning you in. So then the last thing that happens at the end of the episode is he switches his class to have with her, because since the class that she was in, that the other student changed for her so that they could be in it, he decided that he wanted to switch it to be in there with her. And he didn't say that's why he switched in there, but it's you just know that's why he switched in there, so he could be with her. And it was so sweet. So I give the first episode a 10, and I'm not describing every point of the episode, so when I do episode reviews, I'm just describing the main parts. So now I'm going to get on to episode 2. So basically episode 2 starts out with how they start in the class together, and then he asks her if she wants to go for a meal together. She keeps denying him, saying she doesn't want to go for a meal and doesn't want to do this and that, but then she finally gives in, and they do go for a meal together, which is so nice and romantic. And then the next big thing throughout this that happens is his brothers come to the school to look for him. And him and his brother do not get along whatsoever. And must I just say though, his brother is so freaking hot. And I will definitely explain more of that down the road. But, so the next big thing that happens is there's a drunk man, and he basically goes after Hong So because this girl that don't like her because she's spending so much time with Jung. She says, well, why don't you go see her on the second floor, because she was studying, and and she didn't really understand, I don't think, that the man could rape her or do whatever. So basically what happens is the drunk man finds her, and then after the drunk man finds her, then the police come in, and he breaks a bottle on her hand though, and she started bleeding. I mean, it wasn't super bad, but they got him, and she was safe. But I was kind of hoping Jung would run to her rescue, but apparently that didn't happen. But then after that though, Jung the next day, he sees her, and he does take care of her hand, take the bandage off, and so you can tell that they're getting really close, and it's not really basically she just keeps thinking, he's a stalker and everything, but then they're spending more time together in this episode, and they're getting more close. So the last big thing that happens in this episode is that his like I said about his brother, so her friend Bona, I believe is her name, she schedules her to go on a date, and she doesn't want to go, but she goes. And then Jung's brother ends up showing up, the super amazing hot guy, and he doesn't ruin the date, but the guy she's seen is absolutely a jerk. And it was a blind date, so she leaves, and then she leaves his phone with her. No, she accidentally leaves her phone on the table, so then the brother takes it, and then he's walking, and then he sees Jung's number in there, so he calls, and then Jung goes to pick up the phone, and it was like tension between them, like you can tell they don't really get along or like each other, and I don't really understand what Jung did to his brother, but he did mention, like do you have any guilt from ruining a person's life? So I believe in the later episodes it's gonna explain that. But then also, she was Hong Song in the episode also was trying to hook Jung up with one of her friends. And the last big thing that happened at the end of the episode was Jung waits for her house for her to get home. And then when she gets home, he says, like, I thought we were really close, and, you're just like everybody else, because, he found out that she was going on the date, and also, like, I don't think she was very happy. He was very happy that, she tried hooking him up with his friend, because deep down, like, even though he's really a nice person to everybody, I feel like, he actually really likes her, and it was so sad, because he was just like, you're just like everybody else, and it just, it was so emotional, and it was so sad, and I'm just like, are you serious? Like, I mean, like, we'll also see what happens in the third episode, but I also give this episode a 10 out of 10, just like the first one. It's so good and it's so catching, and this was just my review on it, and when I do my reviews, I also like to recap the episode, so that way I can, like, explain it to you guys. So I hope you guys did enjoy my review on it and my recap, and I really enjoy this drama, so I really cannot wait for more episodes to come out. So please give this video a thumbs up and like and subscribe.